Good morning, YouTube, and today I'll be profiling my Volcanics. This is a deck I got rid of a long time ago. If you look way back in one of our earlier profiles, I used to have this deck. I got rid of it, missed it too much. This was before they released the new Blaze Accelerator Reload, and I just loved it so much I was like, I gotta get it back. So I rebuilt it. Let's hop into it. Now, with the Blaze Accelerator Reload, we can justify running Volcanic Doomfire. Most of the time you won't see this in Volcanic decks, but I think he's just too awesome of a card not to at least try. He's never been dead in my hand because there's so many different ways to search out your Blaze Accelerator Reload and your Tri-Blaze Accelerator. I've never found him to be dead, and he's fantastic whenever you do get him off. This is a little bit stranger. I run a Volcanic Queen. Yes, it's not as great as a Kaiju, but allows for a lot more interactions that are required whenever you have this card versus the Kaijus, which you don't usually get their secondary effects off, and people are expecting Kaijus. This girl is a nice little spot removal. It has nice little burn damage potential that's pretty darn cool. I run a Pyrorex, the Elemental Lord. I ran this in my older deck profile, I ran it in this one. It's awesome. There's so much graveyard manipulation. Yes, he's not as good as Moan Glacier or the Earth Elemental Lord, or Windrose, but I love him for as is because he looks awesome. Anyway, and he's not that bad of an effect. I said something about Kaijus a little bit ago with the Volcanic Queen. I do run a Gamma Seal and a Gondola. They're both level 8s, so that's why I elected to run Gondola instead of the Moth Kaiju, instead of the Sticky String Kaiju, because it gives you some more potential opportunities to go into a level 8 Synchro. Plus, you don't really have to worry about monsters too much in this deck because you have a lot of removal for it. Moving on to the rest of our core, we have triple Volcanic Rocket. Obviously, you need it to search out your Blaze Accelerators. Triple Shell, just extra ammo. Triple Scatter Shot, I've always loved this card. Triple of Counter. I always love Counter in the aspect that, yes, you do have to take the damage, and it has to go through first before your opponent has to take the first damage that they do to you, but it's something they forget about. And so normally, nowadays, I've seen that most people will attack with their highest attack first, just out of instinct, and this card can really bite them in the butt if they forget about what it does. And rounding up our monsters, we run triple of the Royal Firestorm Guard. Again, graveyard manipulation is fantastic. Resetting your scatter shots, resetting your counters, resetting your shells. It's just always fantastic to have into this deck. Moving on to our spells, we run triple Blaze Accelerator. Obviously, you run it for your shells and your counters and your scatter shots. I run a lot more targets for it in this deck, so I still keep this one in there just because. One Tri-Blaze Accelerator, since again I try and go for the Doomfire a little bit more often. It's nice to be able to actually have one of these in the deck. Double Wildfire, because you have several targets for it. So Massive Board Clearance, again, is pretty darn awesome, so I keep it at 2. Dark Hole, speaking of Massive Board Clearance, 2 Mystical Space Typhoons. You could justify running Twin Twisters, but it's a cheaper option to just run Mystical Space Typhoons. Moving on to our traps, of course, we run triple Blaze Accelerator, the Reload. We run 2 of Spiritual Fire Art Kurenai. That you'll see a lot more burning going on for the rest of this deck, and so this is just another option to be able to do so. To protect you from receiving a lot of damage, you have your Dimensional Wall, which is in my opinion, a little bit better than Magic Cylinder. I've always loved it as a card. Speaking of Magic Cylinder, we still run 3 of that because you're not going to have too much of an established board if you don't end up with your Doomfire or your Pyrorex pretty quickly. So it's nice to be able to, and like no one runs these kind of cards anymore. So when you set it, your opponent's not going to automatically think, oh, I should probably not attack because I'm going to run into a Magic Cylinder, and then they do. And rounding up, we run a Ring of Destruction because it's always been a great card, so I keep it in there. Moving on to our extra deck. This can be just about anything you want to. You don't go into it too terribly often, but it's there just in case. Really, the 2 things I go into the most is this Infernal Flame Vixen. I'll read her effect off for you. Once per turn, you can detach the Caesar material from this card. It gains 500 attack. When this card with 2,500 or more attack is destroyed, which is if you get her effect off, she'll have more than 2,500. Target 3 monsters in any graveyard and banish them. It's a nice little thing that, especially if you're facing against like Light Swarms or Invernoids, you just get some extra banishing. It's pretty darn nice. And the other thing I'd recommend is running at least one rank 8 Titanic Hope Harbinger with your 2 Kaijus and your Doomfire. You have the potential to go into it, and so it's kind of one of those things you probably won't need it, but in case you do, you should probably have it. And after that, I just run a lot of rank 4s. I'm not really, I'm missing a lot, so I don't have the most optimal lineup right now. I got Ragna Zero, Gem Knight Pearl, Diamond Crab King, Anti-Luminescent Knight. I'll never get his name right. Crooked Cook, Abyss Dweller, Kochi Dragon. Again, it's like a really old card, but no one sees it coming. This Book of Moon, Mecha Phantom Beast Dude. Number 70, Malevolent Sin, underrated card in my opinion. Gaga Cowboy for those extra little bit of burn. Dark Rebelling Seas Dragon, 101 my favorite, and the Castell. And that's going to wrap up my Volcanic deck profile. It's an oldie but a goodie. You'll see a lot of things nowadays that just mix them in with something else, which is fantastic. I would definitely recommend those if you're looking for more of a competitive build, but this is a fun kind of gimmicky thing that makes you be able to burn your opponent but not make them seriously upset with you, like whenever you run Chain Burn or Nurse Burn. It's just it's a lot more fun, I think, of a burning kind of a deck that just kind of keeps it to something of your roots. And again, it was an older deck that I loved. I just had to rebuild it to cure myself of like, no, why did I get rid of it? Anyway, hope you gather something from this, and hopefully you can leave us a comment if you'd like as to suggestions you may have. I appreciate anything you give. Thanks, and have a great day.